Hey there, Arthur from Launchdeck here. Today we're going to discuss how you can apply to YC Accelerator program and actually be selected. I'm pretty sure you can Google up everything you need to know, so my objective is to explain what YC is looking for. Because you know what? That's what most of the investors are looking for as well. By the end of this video, you will have an understanding of the most important points you should focus on while doing your project's presentation. Believe me, following these hints will not only help you successfully get to YC, but also raise funds if you are confident enough to skip the accelerator part. And just in case you are not confident, you should be. Before we start, I'd like to introduce you to my exceptional contributor for this video, Paul Graham. He is, well, most of the insights we are going to share with you we got from his interview on YC portal. Now, let's dive in. When you are applying, first and foremost, clarity is key. Remember, in YC alone, partners are reviewing hundreds of applications a day, and you have to stand out. Don't try to dress your solution up with marketing jargon. Investors are kinda immune to that. Instead, think of a simple one-sentence description of your project. If a YC partner understands your idea from the first sentence and keeps this idea in mind while reading through your application, believe me, you are already halfway to success. And here is a nice hint from Paul Graham for you. Try explaining your idea as a variant of something the audience already knows. It's like Uber but for groceries. It's like Tinder but for dog walking. Well, you get the idea. And yes, I know, your idea is so complicated and so cool it simply cannot be explained in one sentence. But here, remember, less is more. Start with something narrow and then elaborate and explain it a bit more along the way. Sounds better than losing your audience from the very first sentence. Am I right? Now, the first thing Y Combinator looks for is an impressive idea. That's true. But as soon as this part is sorted, they move to the founders. Who are these people and what have they done? Are they three college buddies who are looking to take over the world? Or maybe they are two corporate drones ready to escape their cubicles? These possibilities are endless, and YC basically wants to know who are they dealing with. Now, I know what you are thinking. That's easy. I can simply say that I'm a hardworking person who gives 110% to every project. Wrong. That kind of vague answer won't cut it. You need to be very specific about what you have achieved and why it matters. They want to know what you have done that was the hardest, preferably something that challenged you intellectually. So don't just tell them about the company that you created. They already know about that. Tell them about all the extraordinary things you have accomplished and why they make you the perfect candidate to success. Believe it or not, but in the early stages, founders are way more important than their ideas. So keep in mind the importance of self-presentation. Okay, so you have impressed YC partner. They got the idea, and now they probably would like to know more about how it works. And what it really comes down to is the level of insight you founders have about your idea. Don't make the mistake of saying that your solution is well designed and easy to use. That's not an insight. That's just you claiming that you are going to execute well. Well, bravo. You have to be more specific about what you are going to do to make your software easier to use and how you're going to hold your own against the competition. Speaking of competition, don't be afraid to take on the big players in your industry. The best startup ideas are generally outliers who seemed absolutely crazy for the most of people initially. And here goes the kicker. Don't worry if your idea faces obstacles. In fact, YC likes to see their startups tackling challenges. However, you should show that you are aware of these obstacles and have an idea or two how you are going to overcome them. Most importantly, you need to know about the one question that could either make or break your application to YC. It's the question that acts like a startup wildcard, and it's not for the faint of heart. YC wants to know about the time you most successfully hacked something to your advantage. This isn't your average interview question, but then again, YC isn't your average startup accelerator, right? Here are some tips to help you stand out. First of all, be specific and detailed. It's obviously not enough to simply state that you hacked the system. You need to provide some specific details that illustrate your thought process and which steps you had to take to make this work. Secondly, try to highlight your innovation. Your answer should demonstrate your ability to think outside the box and come up with unique solutions. The more innovative your approach is, the more likely you are going to stand out. Lastly, emphasize the impact. Don't forget to emphasize what were the outcomes. Did you save time? Did you save money? Or maybe it improved efficiency or productivity? By highlighting the positive impact of your hack, you will show that you can deliver real results. Remember this, there were some cases when people got accepted simply based on the strengths of their answer to this question. Finally, understand that the investors more or less are optimists. They want to believe that you are great, but you need to help them out by being concise and specific about what sets your startup apart. Don't waste their time with unnecessary words. And if there is something special about you or your idea, make sure they see it. Alright then, these are the key points you have to keep in mind if you want to apply to Y Combinator. But I recall telling you something about these points being effective even if you apply them while pitching to get funded. So let's recap from the fundraising perspective. The first thing an investor is looking for is a clear definition of what your startup is doing. That's what your executive summary should do from the very beginning of your presentation. It is the key idea that will stick with the audience all the way through your pitch. Okay, you made your statement. Moving on to the most important part, your team. Team slide, as we already told you only so many times, is the heart of your presentation, especially in the early stages. Keep it simple, yet maximize the efficiency by showing how your teammate will be the next Elon Musks of your time. Your team alright? Then it's time to elaborate a bit more on how your solution works and why it matters right now. Here goes your problem and solution section. Remember to make it clear how your solution will address the problem. Be specific and connect the dots for your audience so there will be no questions left when you finish with your presentation. Remember that if you feel like your idea is worth a try, there should be some solutions like yours. Show your differentiation, how your solution or your technology will outrun the competition. Lastly, while you are a startup, there always will be obstacles on your way to success. Show that you are aware of that and show that you already have a risk mitigation strategy. So these are the key points you should focus on while preparing for your pitch. Only then YC partners or investors are moving on to the mundane questions, as Paul Graham said, like the market opportunity, your business strategy, or funds allocation. If you made it this far, well, congratulations! If you wish to apply to YC Accelerator, we will leave the link below, as well as an interview with Paul Graham and an application example for you to research even more. As for everyone else, well, now you know what the biggest names in the startup industry focus on while reviewing your pitch. Keep in mind all the takeaways and you'll be set. That's it for today. If you like this type of content, hit a like, subscribe, drop a comment, and we'll see you in the next video. And as always, keep exploring.